All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Symphogear,
Season 1, Episode 12.
The penultimate episode of the first season.
Mm-hmm.
And you were right. You were goddamn right.
My shit-eating grin is never coming off.
I might be a little bit salty about that. Maybe just a little bit. But, you know, the signs were there, right? There were a lot of things to point to that, even though it was something that, in my mind, didn't even, like, it was a twist for the audience more than the characters. The characters didn't even really know that the other person existed. Like you even had the one part where she randomly shows up in her armor.
So that they know that she exists.
So that they know that she exists.
Yeah, of course.
For the twist.
Of course, we talked about this.
Like,
yeah.
Like, if not for that scene, you could have literally just had her be in her regular form when she's, like, torturing Chris, and it would have had no change in the story. But we are here.
And now we're making a Tower of Babel and firing
ion cannon
laser
to shoot
into
the moon and
blowing the Earth's load into its evil twin brother. And then Chris blocked it, kind of, or lessened the blow to the moon.
With her superb song.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and while we are knocking on heaven's door here, I think it's time for a new song to be sung. A song that's been hinted at from the first episode.
And maybe a song of rage. Because Hibiki saw Chris fall. And, well, you know, Tsubasa was okay when she did her superb song, so hopefully Chris is going to be okay, because she just got Nakamura, and it'd be too soon to kill her.
It's actually, like, just at the right time. Like,
God.
It's literally
God.
It's literally like the exact time where they could start doing this.
Yeah, and then it's just like, haha.
It's like new cast of characters.
But no,
season 2.
If we had Genjiro being as badass and awesome as he was because he watches movies and sleeps all day and eats and stuff, then Chris is going to be fine.
Indeed.
Like I'm sure he could probably. Well, okay, he kind of got impaled, so that's a problem. But if not for that, exactly.
Yes, it takes a lot of focus to do this.
He could have beaten, Ryoko by himself. That's. But
imagine if your face was frozen like this.
Oh man, you'd never be scared of anything. You'd never be intimidated or anything.
I think I could wear any kind of glasses. Like I think I could wear like literally any kind. My nose just got like 50% whiter doing this.
Oh my god, that was okay.
Yeah, y'all. Without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. Holy shit!
Yeah. That ending was like, fuck. Like,
we did not plan that!
We did not plan that.
That was so good!
When there are certain things that just it's what makes sense to describe an episode. As.
When you're an anime character.
Yeah, God, that
anime
weirdly enough, that was actually probably like my second favorite part of the episode. Like the ending of the episode, of course, being my favorite, but With a show as wacky and kind of ridiculous as this show,
absolutely.
Any time that the characters go into like, all right, we're gonna logic this out, I love it, and the fact that it's something as silly but consistent with the character as,
of course.
What is this, an anime? It's like, if this was an anime, right? And how much she sticks to it and like just follows it down that little rabbit hole to basically say, I'm gonna help, right?
But like,
and it's great.
But I love it so much because it's such a thing that I think a lot of people could laugh at. But most people find motivation and inner spirit and their resolve and what have you, and inner strength from the most like jankiest of means.
Oh yeah, and in a moment like that where you're like, well, the world is ending. Then it's like, okay, but what about anime, right? Like,
even not that. No, just the idea of saying, will my future self be disappointed in me because I didn't do this?
Yep.
It's literally the same thing that she's doing, and I freaking love it because anyone that has like dedicated themselves to like a grueling hard task that has an eventual like result to it will know that you kind of need to use this kind of shit in order to make it work.
Using that kind of stuff for like
fucking love it.
I wanna like get in shape or work out or whatever. It's like, well, anime characters are so cool and they're like, you know, like badass and buff or whatever, or like my D&D character can do this stuff. Yeah. So it's like, all right, you know.
So then in the same thing with, you know, Tsubasa.
Yep.
Having her badass series of moments here, which I have to say,
Tsubasa was freaking awesome.
Yeah, as a very simple story that this is on the immediate structure here. My favorite part about this finale is that over the course of these last 2 episodes, and including this one, we've given each of the main cast outside of Hibiki incredibly powerful moments to take the plot in their direction here, and we even got meta with it. By having then, you know, the girl with the focus on, you know, anime. I don't remember her name. One of the trio.
I'm not entirely sure if she has been named
anyway.
So far.
But yeah, even having that moment here, it's just really special because for Tsubasa to see to see this go on basically with not just Tachibana. She's calling her Tachibana. But I know she was calling her Tachibana. I usually call her Hibiki, but and then with Fine basically spitting on and laughing and mocking Kanade's sacrifice from before, it felt really powerful to have a moment where Tsubasa then alone effectively she doesn't have Hibiki to rely on here.
Yeah, it's the thing where what Tsubasa kind of always wanted / thought she was sort of resigned to of being the lone soldier, the lone sword, right? Yeah. She gets the chance to do that here and save the day, right? Because while Fine is still wrecking shit and will totally kill them, her plans are fucked. Yeah. Right? Like
absolutely
fucked.
This is now just petty revenge.
Right, exactly.
I love that got simplified.
Yep. And that's something that basically is a way to kind of tell Tsubasa that all that suffering and everything, where you felt like you had to be a lone sword, that wasn't worthless.
Exactly.
Right? That, in fact, was just what we needed here. Because sometimes you need someone who is a sword, who can take 2 crazy hits and be like, I'm still good. You know, let's keep going. Right?
Yeah,
like,
I survived my own superb song.
Right. You think this is going to hurt me? Like, my body was disintegrating from the inside out.
Come at me with your whip tentacle powers. Let's go.
Yeah. This isn't even enough to get me horny. Like come on.
God, I loved Tsubasa's moment. And I don't want to take away from all the other moments with Hibiki and stuff, because I think it's really cool to see your protagonist break.
Yeah.
I think that breaking your main characters specifically down so that they almost in some ways choose again who they're going to be in the midst of that breaking and shattering made that moment really powerful. But to me, the big highlight this episode was Tsubasa just having like 5 minutes or like 3 or 4 minutes of the episode.
Kick-ass being awesome.
Just taking the whole thing apart. And now, you know, obviously it's going to be all 3 of them just tag teaming Fine, which is going to be hilarious and epic.
We're going to get team combos and everything, and it will be delightful.
And they'll probably watch her regenerate over and over and over again as they beat the shit out of her.
Right.
But, you know, this is going to be
that just means the fun lasts longer. Yeah. Like the fact that Tsubasa was like, because when she went after Fine, I'm like, okay, cool, but the objective is the tower, right? And it's like, of course, no, she's a smart cookie. She knows how to do all this stuff. She scares the shit out of Fine so bad that she's like, I'm going to put up not just 1 or 2, but 3 of my force field barriers. And then Tsubasa's like, cool, thank you. And now. And now I destroy, you know, the MacGuffin, right?
Locked into this, so now I'm going to do main objective.
Right, and that's and all of this is after, you know, oh yeah, she let herself get impaled by Hibiki, you know,
so that she could basically
CC her.
Yeah, but also snap her out of this. But the idea of saying that, hey, you know, Kanade gave you this power. This isn't what it's meant to be used for. And, and what I think is really cool here is that this doesn't just snap Hibiki out of the rage. Like reaches her.
Yep.
But she's absolutely being dominated by, internally by this this relic.
So Tsubasa pulling out the Shade Stitcher is
by Gungnir,
very much needed. Yeah.
Right.
And there you go, right? And it's something that, we haven't seen her use before, but it's not like she would necessarily tell people that she has that kind of ability, like that's absolutely the kind of thing where you want to, keep that, a secret for when you need it, because it's a very it requires precision, hitting someone's shadow.
And yet I loved the bit that we'd be like, okay, she starts singing, but this wasn't her final song. And this was just her saying, I'm going to do what I've always done. I'm going to sing. I'm going to sing, a song that doesn't even have to be sung on the battlefield. I can sing elsewhere. I do not need to be a sword, but right now I'm going to choose to be a sword. I'm going to accept that. That is my role here.
And I will be a dang good one.
I will be the best sword. And I just love Tsubasa's character. I think that development wise over the course of the season, she's just
kept going up.
Just constantly, yes, exactly. Constantly in my mind, just skyrocketed.
Oh yeah.
In just my appreciation for her character. So
I also
her getting the moment of destroying the actual thing with some clever trickery, which I love that you immediately zoned in on. Oh, that's what you're doing, right?
Right. Yep. And also just the look of the move when because a lot of Tsubasa's abilities are basically I huck swords at you of varying sizes and and speeds and quantities, right? But the idea of no, I make a super big sword that's so big that it needs little rocket propulsion things on the back of it, because yes, I can kick it really hard, but why stop there? That was just a nice little fun thing just to make it look super cool and badass and awesome.
What do you think about the idea that she leaned into Kanade's actual powers here, and that's why her swords went aflame, and there was an aspect of her ability to fly up with this that wasn't just her launching up, but she literally fused with that essence of Kanade that she connected in the ethereal realm or whatever. Because I definitely felt like that was not this is just a cool moment. This could be a world building thing, because they keep going back to this view.
Yeah, it could totally be a literal world building thing, because with a power system as ambiguous basically as music, right? Sure. You can do all kinds of things, right? And the resonance that has within the hearts of people and whatnot. It's like, okay, yeah, cool. It could totally just be a thing where it's an evolution of Tsubasa's own powers as a result of her getting additional reconciliation within her, the loss of of Kanade and everything. I feel like both work. But if the show wants to take it in the direction of, this is an evolution of, how the mechanics work.
Yeah, I think
cool.
I think that one of the things I've been waiting to see if the show is going to do is basically, if we're dealing with gods and, beings that are godlike, then I think that beings that are dead but not gone, it needs to be gone into, basically.
Sure, because even Fine is an example of that. She died, but she was able to do the whole thing of, embedding her consciousness into the DNA and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I would very much see that there's a possibility that mechanics-wise in this world, the ghost of Kanade stays with her throughout all this.
Yep.
And her voice, the resonance of that still lingers within her. They're partners, they're music partners for all that time.
Yeah.
So that might have done something, and now at this great moment she reaches out, and it's an emotional scene primarily, but it's the first time we've ever seen, I believe, her basically great phoenix wings of sorts out of her blades, which
and
it's just pretty fucking awesome.
And if I recall correctly, her thing wasn't fire.
No, it's not.
It ended up being blue and all that stuff, right? But
yeah, she literally became almost a dragon of blue flame.
Yep, which is dope as fuck,
or
right?
Phoenix,
that was super cool. But yeah, that's something where I can't remember if Kanade had something about her ability that was fire aesthetic at all.
I don't remember, but
I seem to recall more like wind stuff of her doing tornadoes and things, but
okay.
But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think my main thing is more just that doesn't seem like a
that's not a sword
that's
thing.
Not a Tsubasa thing.
Right. That's not it's a fundamentally different kind of thing that she's doing.
Yeah.
Than what we've seen before. So yeah.
But it just looks, pretty awesome too.
Yep.
But okay, the idea then that both Chris and Tsubasa accidentally ended up working together in a fun way, even though it was after, Chris had fallen to stop Kodingir, I think was a cool little thing of like, thanks, Chris, you set me up, so now I can then deliver the final blow to this thing.
Oh, gotcha.
Because they were the ones that didn't really like each other,
Because did Chris land a hit on the tower, or did she?
No, she stopped. She blasted her thing.
Yeah. So she stopped the shot. Right.
Yeah, so that they could actually have this, happen. I just love the idea of, from like almost like a DM, like D&D perspective, that you gave each of the characters moments, but you also build on the moments of the previous character's moment to then set up the main character here, or just whoever ends up getting the final moment.
I gotta say, I really appreciate that the Hibiki raging out was not actually something that ended up being helpful.
Yeah.
Like, it actually was a detriment. Tsubasa had to fight on her own after getting impaled because of what happened with Hibiki, right? Like, yes, there was the point where she was, pissed at Fine, right? But that didn't necessarily last long, and that's something where, this battle is not going to be determined by the monster within, right? It's going to be determined by, God damn it, the power of friendship and, and singing and all of that stuff, right? And I'm absolutely here for that.
And it wasn't after the sacrifices of the friends either that made her then sing her song.
Exactly.
It was, we haven't seen Hibiki sing her song yet. It was the other characters, the side characters, calling out to the protagonist to be like, Tasukete, but instead they sing, which we know has mechanical implications in this world.
So there is a literal reason for it to be able to then bring about the hero surpasses their limits, all
they
of that
gain
stuff.
A new resolve.
Exactly.
It's literally built into the world.
And especially because Hibiki is literally embedded with a relic.
Yes.
Like, it's not even something of just like, I have Symphogear and all that stuff, but it's like, no. It, like, the shards are literally inside me, right? So, yeah, there you go.
I also really love this aspect of Fine. As a villain, there's an aspect of her that I'm not sure if she is a Season 1 villain or if she is a series villain.
Sure.
But this part here where she kind of does the villain monologue of, why are you so close? I love this because her motivations are not really just to become a god or a goddess or whatever, but to, I wanted to be able to, have my, my simping for God actually make it through, know, and for him to acknowledge my tier 3 sub, and it's wonderful because it's a very simple motivation, but it makes sense in combination with the desire to be a goddess. It's the I was not noticed by senpai, therefore I will become a senpai so that we're equals, right?
That's actually okay. Yeah, that's a great point because one of the kind of the things where I was like, okay, we would have gladly helped you with that if you weren't saying you wanted to conquer the world. Like, like, you could have just been like, yes, I want to do this thing and I want to bring about world unity and also be able to communicate with the one I love. Fuck yeah, let's help you out. Like,
but what's implied by the idea that the curse of Balal robbed them of the common tongue means that the common tongue was common. She had it, and it did nothing to make her love be recognized and reciprocated. Which means that as a regular human, there were points, even probably with, powers imbued by divinity or something like that, that she was able to declare her love or showcase her love, and the creator was like, nah. And
message read,
Message read, 5,000 years ago.
And so she's like, okay, maybe he just didn't hear me, so I'm going to build a big tower so that I can say it from up there.
Right.
Cool.
But I think what's also implied is that it doesn't matter that, you love the creator. Many people, devote religions to God or whatever, and it's like, no, that's, So she's like, well, then fine, I will bring myself to the level that you have to respect me.
You mean Fine?
Yeah, exactly.
That was terrible. I'm sorry.
It was really terrible, but it still made me chuckle in my inner Kokoro. But like level of okay, now that I'm a Twitch streamer now, so you can like we can collab for real, right?
Yeah, we can now do like networking, right? You know, like yeah. Oh man.
It's a long-term strat, dude. You gotta go deep. You gotta go deep for this.
Yeah,
never underestimate the power of a simp.
But you know,
for the long game.
The world-building implications of saying this was the common tongue that was one of our means of communication with the creator. That's a crazy thing to think about, because in this universe where God is an entity that can actually be like conversed with and like talked about like in a physical like sense and everything, right? Then having some language where that's just like it almost makes me think of like the magic tongues in like fantasy stories where it's like this is the language of magic, like this is the language of God, right? It's like well shit.
Well,
like,
even on like a crazy way, the idea that if there's a creator, then the beings that use the common tongue receive the common tongue from the creator. So there's a possibility the creator actually wants them to have the common tongue. But the curse, where did that come from then?
Right. Well, apparently it came from, you know, the creator when they changed their mind, right?
Right.
But yeah.
But is she then recycling the same problem that perpetuated the curse?
Possibly.
So I'm actually really curious
Your
now.
making me uncomfortable.
Right. But I'm actually really curious here is that if she had succeeded in destroying the moon here, might not a greater curse have fallen upon humanity?
Potentially. Yeah, we meet the anti-spirals and suddenly it's like, well, you know.
Yeah, in fact, like there's a possibility that it's like you did good by like trying to you know save humanity, but there's a possibility that things might have actually gone really bad with this.
Right.
Like obviously she's done her research, she knows the history, lore, and all this stuff, so we have to kind of take her word for most of this.
She is also absolutely doing it out of an obsession, basically.
Yep, exactly.
And that's, you know...
That means there's things that she probably might be intentionally ignoring because she's really dead set on a specific aspect of this.
Or at the very least, she has a personal reward that she wants, basically, and whatever side effects, consequences come as a result of that, she probably doesn't care. But, like, the back to the whole, like, language thing, given that this show is about music... I really feel like that's something that is just there's so much that can be gotten into there because if you think about it, music, one of the most common uses for music is to communicate feelings that can't as easily be put into words, almost like it's a different language, right? And one of the most common is feelings of love, right? So for this character, for that to be the reason in which they're doing this, when they are the antagonist, right? They are a really shitty person, right? That's still something that is compelling, right? And I for as awful as she is, right? Hearing something like that, I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I love also the Fine like panic mode when she's just like, wait, fuck, what?
Hold on, how is this happening?
How is this happening?
Right.
I call bullshit.
Yeah.
And we get like at least that the music should help on some level, but the idea that the things that she's asking is, wait a minute, but what armor are you using? What is the actual method by which this is happening? So I wonder if she's basically saying, no, the fragments fused with your heart, that shouldn't do this. This is something else.
Yeah, what I get the feeling this is the thing that was like established way back in the show, that if a relic ever fully awakened, you could have people using it that are not connected to it, right? Like you could have a bunch of different people using it, and I feel like that's what's happening here, where because you know maybe the shards of Gungnir or whatever within Hibiki awoken or something because of the singing of the people and all that stuff, right?
Okay.
Then the power boost that she gets because the fragments are inside of her, that also gets then shared by Tsubasa and Chris.
Ah, cool.
And then they all basically get powered up and, you know, come to kick ass.
Cool.
And then that's...
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
That might not be it. And
Yeah.
I feel like if it is that, then she might have actually figured out that that's what was going on. So that might not be what it is.
Well, I'm thinking that there's a possibility that because of the way this show does things, that Fine is going to be like, I see.
Sure.
You know,
in the heat of combat, she doesn't
what happened,
get it right away. But then it's like as she's like beaten to a pulp, she's like, oh, that's what it was.
Like, I get it.
Right. Okay.
This is the true power of a relic. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of excited for that because I feel like this show is the one that will do the villain was kind of right in that humanity needs to evolve.
Sure.
But the way you're doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They beat her and they're like, thanks for the idea. We're still totes going to destroy the moon, but you're not going to be able to see it.
Or we'll look into why the moon being destroyed does that.
Sure. Yeah.
Because that's a thing.
Right. Yeah. We need to send people to the moon. Maybe the moon landing was fake.
Oh, here we go.
They would have found out about that otherwise.
This is the show that combines all cultures, all conspiracy theories, all things into one super lore deep dive thing into our past as humans. Oh, I'm excited for this. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, where you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.